Okay, today is Tuesday, June 26th, 2012. I am interviewing Mr. George Chang in the Austin History Center. Could you state your full name?
George Chang.
Okay. Could you spell your Chinese name?
Yeah, CHI heaven. T like Tom, TONG.
Chitong.
Right.
Great.
And CHANG.
Yes. Thank you. When and where were you born?
I was born in northern China, but I was educated in Taiwan.
Oh, okay. Tell me about your parents.
Married. Oh,
Parents.
I try to make this point to be a little bit more conservative. I just say I married and I have one son.
Okay. Okay. What was your family like? Did you have siblings?
I have quite few relatives in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. In this state.
Okay. What was your childhood like growing up in northern China? And Taiwan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was born in China, in northern China, a place called Jingzhou. Okay. When I was 3 years old, I moved to another city called Xi'an, SIAN, simply because Sino-Japanese War.
Mm-hmm.
And during 1949, before communists took over China, I went with my parents to Taiwan, and I was attending elementary school in China, and then from that time, then later I attended my junior high, high school, and college in Taiwan.
What did you study in college?
Initially, I studied in agricultural engineering. I would say mechanical engineering. And then when I come to here, I was in Mississippi, and because of the assistantship, so I transferred my major to hydraulics.
Is that why you came to the United States for this assistantship? Right. Okay.
Right.
Was through a school?
Yeah, I applied for assistantship, scholarship, which your undergraduate called scholarship, and graduate school called assistantship.
Okay.
And I applied for assistantship, and I obtained that, and I passed the so-called exit academic examination in Taiwan. And it was kind of difficult because at the time not so many people can, and you have to pass the test by your own government, by Taiwan government, and also pass the test by American embassy.
Mm-hmm.
So after I passed those 3 tests, I guess, and came to this country to attend graduate school, and I obtained my master's degree in hydraulics, my PhD in water resources.
Did you know English? Did you study English in Taiwan? Or did you learn it when you came here?
Simply, we had to use English textbook in college.
Uh-huh.
So I knew English before I came. But it was not so good at the time.
So it was difficult during your master's?
Right. You know, when I first attended class in the state, I almost couldn't understand what, even the examination date,
Wow.
even the test date. So I had to read, very hard in order to pass all the tests.
Mm-hmm. Did you do your PhD also in Mississippi or somewhere else?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Simply because I had a master's degree. Then I came to Texas in 1967 for summer job, working for state.
To Austin?
Right.
Austin. What company?
For the so-called Texas Water Rights Commission at the time.
What made you go into these fields? You studied hydraulics and water resource. Was that your interest?
Simply because I had a pretty good scholarship. Yeah, to support my family.
Mm-hmm. Were you married in Taiwan then before you came to study?
Right.
Okay. So did you bring your wife and family then?
Privately, I had a second marriage.
Okay. So you came with your wife to America?
No.
Oh, no.
You can't.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
You couldn't.
You have to. That time in Taiwan, unless your financial condition was stable, your family cannot join you.
Mm-hmm.
So only after 2 years, when I had a very great scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
then I can bring my wife here.
Okay.
And my son.
And your son, okay, at the
Right.
time. Okay, so when you arrived to Texas in 1967 to Austin for your summer job, did that turn out to be more of a long-term thing, or was it just summer?
Well, then in 1970, when I got my PhD, I asked my previous boss if they had a job open. So they said yes. So I came. That's what in September 1970.
So you have been living in Austin since 1970?
Since late 1970.
Oh, late. So you got your PhD in 1970, but you were still in Mississippi?
Right.
You were working there?
I was, graduate student.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I was, I partly work because, the assistantship is you have to work.
Okay.
You have to work in order to obtain your stipend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So then, luckily, your former employer had a job opening in Austin
Right.
in late 1970s.
Right. In late
Okay.
70s, I came.
Okay. So then you came to Austin to start that job.
Right.
Okay. Was it the same? Was it called something different then? It was called Texas Water Rights Commission, and then
Right.
was
right.
that a state
State agency?
Okay. And then was it still called that when you came back?
For about several years, then they changed it to. Then I moved to a different state agency called Texas Water Development Board, which is still existing.
Okay. And how long did you work there?
I worked for state for about 10 and a half years.
Oh, okay. And then what happened? Well, you got here in the late 70s. Tell me about what Austin was like.
Right. That time, Austin had about 250,000 people.
So pretty small.
Pretty small. And in north is bounded by Anderson Line, and south is bounded by Binghuai. And west is Mopac and I-35 on the east. So it's kind of the current core of Austin at the time. And if you go beyond that, it's called suburban.
What did you think of Austin?
I like that smaller size. You know, right now the traffic is so crowded, and everything has to be in line to wait for. But you know, this is a trend of population. What you can do.
Yes. Okay. What about the Asian community at the time?
At the time, I would say it should not be more than 2,000 people, including students.
What about the Chinese population?
Chinese population, I would say, you know, the first Chinese organization was formulated in 1975. And at the time, there was not that much difference. The Chinese population, we had a total 50 families and about 300 students.
And when you got here, was there any sort of formal organization?
No.
Nothing.
No, the
Nothing
Chinese organization was the first one, starting in 75.
In 75. Is that the one that was called Chinese Professional Association
Right.
of Texas? Okay.
Right. And later on, in 1979, it changed the name to Austin Chinese Association.
Okay. So you obviously worked at the state for 10 and a half years, like you said. Then what happened with your career?
I moved to city of Austin, simply because it was a supervisor job.
Okay. Which department?
At the time, that was later on called Environmental and Conservation Service.
And how long were you in that role?
In city, my job was then later on it changed to drainage utilities and changed to finally is watershed protection.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I mean you may put this way, my whole time job in city was a supervising engineer.
What was your years of service with the city then?
Right, it's 1980.
You started in 1980.
Right.
And then you...
I retired in 2000.
In 2000, okay, so 20 years.
Right.
Okay. Did you enjoy your jobs?
I would say yes. Simply, I had my own budget. I had I like research. I can do some research. Simply, I have some research. Some research funding, such like federal grant.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the water quality area, which is different from state job. At state, I was mostly in hydraulics. So it's a different kind. And then it was a challenging job because I have to deal with the water quality. I was one of the initiators for the water quality program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my study was the basis of comprehensive watershed ordinance.
I see. Before that, do you feel like there wasn't a lot of effort to protect the water quality?
Very little.
Very little.
Very little. I mean, you don't have a basis for your comprehensive watershed ordinance. But simply, you don't have a study to support that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came in, there was a federal grant. Is to correlate the wastewater to, stormwater to runoff.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, based on that study and other studies in other cities, I developed a modeling study, which is to correlate the impervious cover
Mm-hmm.
and the creek's water quality. So because of that, then there is a comprehensive watershed ordinance that has been impacting Austin for a long time.
Absolutely. Well, and they butt a lot of heads with developers and
Right.
environmentalists.
I think but on the other hand, you want the balance of environmental protection and the population growth.
Mm-hmm.
So you have some controls.
Yeah.
So I have experienced all of that. So that I guess make my life more complicated.
Okay. Well, I would like to start asking you about some of these volunteer activities you have been doing. You've done so much. Let's start with the first one, the Chinese Society of Austin, at the time called Austin Chinese Association. Tell me about founding that and what it was like to get it started.
Well, at the time, as I said, that the total number of family in Austin is about 50. And there are only 2 Chinese restaurants in town.
Really?
Right. And so it was easy to formulate an organization like that. And there's I couldn't take all that credit because there's another person who left later. His name is Mr. Liu, Liu, and I and another lady, with 3 founded the Chinese Professional Association.
Mm-hmm. What was the intent? What was the mission of the Chinese Professional Association?
What's the specific?
Well, what was the point of it, like the organization?
Oh, okay. There are 2 purposes, and one is for social activities.
Okay.
The other is to protect the small Chinese community.
Did you feel like the Chinese in Austin at the time had much voice in like politics or socially? Any presence that was significant?
Well, since I put it this way, when I studied in Deep South, there was no black in school.
Mm.
We were treated as guests.
Oh.
Okay, so it was pretty good treatment. But otherwise, blacks could not go to theater, sitting downstairs. They have to go to upstairs. Okay, and if you have a very dark skin, some club won't let you in. Mm. Okay, and so, but in Austin at the time, it's already pretty liberal. And in addition to that, most of the 50 families are mostly professional. So, either professional or, the 2 Chinese restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
business, they are in business. So we are pretty much the same as other people at the time, but we still like to, have an organization to back up us, so we feel more comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, good. In reading the history of CSA, Chinese Society of Austin, it sounded like a lot of the economy had a lot to do with how the Chinese community kind of organized or were able to keep going as an organization. Can you talk a little bit about that, the 80s and 90s?
Well, you put it this way, after the first Chinese organization was formulated, then Motorola came to town. Okay, and many other high-tech companies came to town. So you come to 1983, Austin become very prosperous, and the population increased to 400,000 at the time. And then all of a sudden, in 1986, the economy went down. All the properties, downvalued to some to only 1/3 of it. So many Chinese Americans were in professional jobs, so they lost their job and moved away, or being washed off by the adverse economy. So all of a sudden, the Chinese initially had probably about 4,000 people, including students, in 1983, I would say. Then in 1990, the number of Chinese dropped to about roughly 2,000 people. So the Chinese Association also went down, and nobody cared about it.
Yeah.
And then, therefore, that's why we have to wait until in 1991, the Chinese organization did not exist anymore. So until 1996, so we formulated another one.
Which is what
Yeah.
it is called now, Chinese
Right.
Society of Boston.
The one of the reasons was at the time, from say 70s to 80s to even 90s. At the beginning, 70 to 80, very few Vietnamese, because Vietnam was not falling until 76, and so there were maybe 10 or 20 Vietnamese, that's all. And then the Indians maybe less than 50. So they dominantly, it was Chinese American. So basically, you don't have enough population like now. So you don't need an organization. That's one point I want to make is the Asians as a whole had a very little number of people in 70s. I mean, from 70s to 80s.
Yes.
And then they fall down of the economy in between 86 and 1991. So there were 5 years. The Austin's economy was so bad, and almost the Asians population totally, I would say, less than 10,000 people. So that's what happened. It's Asian American contributed a lot to Austin's economy, but on the other hand, because of the overall economy, there were much few Asian during late 80s.
What made you stick around then? Because you were with the city? Is that how you kind of kept going during that hard time?
Yeah, because I didn't invest that much. The high-tech people, because of the high-tech companies cutting jobs,
Mm-hmm.
so many people were laid off.
Mm-hmm.
Indirectly connect to other service. So other service also lost people.
Right.
So they went away. And if you were working for government, you are safer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason I was still here. I thought about to move to California. Like my son, he went to school in California, but eventually there were so many ties, I couldn't. I got many other relatives here.
Mm-hmm. While you were with the city, I believe you were also a part of starting a group called the Asian American Employee Network.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I was. You have to give credit to two people. One is the past mayor, Gus Garcia,
Mm-hmm.
and the mayor pro tem, Jackie Goodman. We had 4 people. Me, a Chinese American, then Chinese Soor, a Cambodian,
Mm-hmm.
and Gopal Gujkanda,
Mm-hmm.
an Indian,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tuan Van, a Vietnamese, Toan. I always had difficult time to spell that NG, Van.
VAN.
Yeah, right, Tuan Van. Yeah. So we 4 talked to Gus, and he encouraged us to say that you must have an organization to protect you, like Hispanics. At the time, Hispanics in Austin were only about 17%. Now it's double. And so we formulate. Our strategy was, to have an organization on the side to support Asian employees. And then we each individually talk to the city management to expand the Asian employee base. So that's the reason, again, is to protect Asian employees, to have, number 2 is to have connections with the overall Asian community, so can work together.
What year was it that it formed?
I'm sorry?
What year was the Asian American Employee Network formed?
Let me see. 1994.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
We did a lot of things. I personally filed. You may put say complaints Okay, for 15 people, for 15 Asian.
Mm-hmm.
I know it might not work that well, but after all, it did work in a way, to promote some Asian.
Mm-hmm. And also to encourage them to hire more Asians in managerial positions.
We used
or be promoted.
We used the Texas at the time Texas Workforce Commission's data. Say the workforce the Asian Americans workforce availability is 3%. So Gus Garcia suggests that we go for a 3% goal. So we are the first city to have Asian American considered to be official or minority. So that was one big advancement.
To be official, what again?
Minority.
Minority. 3%.
With a 3% employment goal.
Okay, like representation, basically.
Right.
To match the population.
To match the workers' availability number.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you feel like the employee network, the Asian American Employee Network, did achieve what it set out to do then?
I think it was growing. I was in that position for almost 3 years. And I think we did a lot of work. Because of that, because of the effort of the association, the city set up a goal. So at any time we can say we want the goal. Mm-hmm. Okay, in every category of profession. Mm-hmm. And therefore we had many people, more Asian can be employed. More people can get to the management position. Then many people can have a channel to talk to management people if they have any kind of trouble. So I think it's not only necessary, but it has a very great function.
The next group I want to talk to you about is the Asian Construction and Trade Association.
Asian Contract Association.
Were you involved with that?
Right.
Okay. Is that different from the Asian Contractor Association, which is ACA?
No, we
it's the same.
We just change the name.
Which is the first name, the ACTA?
The Asian Construction Trade Association.
That was the first name. Okay.
Right.
And tell me about that group and when it was founded.
Well, I'm not the chairman of that group. I mean, Mahesh Naik was the chairman. Mm-hmm. I'm just a board member. Okay. It is now called Asian Contractor Association? Right.
Okay. And do you want to talk about anything you did with that group?
Well, again, it's important not only in the employment side, but on the project side. Mm-hmm. Asian has a lot of engineers, has a lot of construction contractors.
Mm-hmm.
So the association is to help all contractors of Asian origin
Mm-hmm.
to get governmental jobs.
Okay.
What I mean, jobs, not the employment.
Yeah.
I mean the
Projects.
project.
Okay. Very good. Was that founded around the 90s or earlier?
2001.
Oh, ACTA was 2001. Okay,
2001.
much later.
Yeah,
than
that's
I
when
thought.
I retired.
Oh, okay. Are you still involved with the Asian Contractor Association?
Yes.
You are, okay. Are you a board member?
Yes.
Okay. The next group I want to talk to you about is NAO.
Okay.
Were you involved in the founding of it or in the beginning? Tell me about that.
Again, the founders are several people. You know, within the city of Austin, there were, three people. You know, Gopal, Charlie, and I. And then outside, there's Raymond Chan,
Mm-hmm.
and there's Frank Lan,
Mm-hmm.
there's Millie Chu, and there's Steve Yao, and there are some Filipinos and Filipino like Susan Pfeiffer, okay, Susan Pfeiffer, and let me see, on the Vietnamese side there's a person.
Phil?
Let me see, what's his name? He works for the city now as program. His name is Ken.
Oh, yes.
Let me see, what's his name? It's
I know who you're talking about.
he worked for IBM
Uh-huh,
before.
uh-huh.
Worked for it's a let me see. Well, also name also see. I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So, back to NAO, the Network of Asian American Organizations. It sounds like a lot of people got together and decided to form this group to strengthen the presence of Asian Americans in Austin. And
Well, there's also a strategy.
mm-hmm.
You know, within the city, we have an employee network. On the outside, we have to have an organization
Mm-hmm.
to unite Asian American.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason we created an AAO.
And what was the benefit of uniting Asian Americans then?
Well, for example, at any time we have to imitate the police association. We have to imitate the Hispanic network.
Mm-hmm.
We have to imitate the African American network. So when the government or any corporation, has this again. We talk about the jobs and project.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have an organization like that, you can cooperate with the network, employee network, to kind of promote the Asian Americans' benefit. If the city government can say, well, only you guys want to be promoted, only you guys want to get more Asian. How about your community? That's the reason we have the network, which can support from the outside. And we work very well with Toby Future.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the city managers did best with Asian. I put this way. She always, had meetings with us quarterly, and to talk about the promotions, talk about hire more Asians.
Mm-hmm.
And we also recommend the people to state the higher level positions. But the state, is more difficult because the population ratio in the entire state doesn't have that much availability. So, you have 20 million people in Texas, but you only have like 2% of Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's increased to 3%, so that's good. So for the state jobs project, it's more difficult to get.
Mm-hmm.
But with city, it's much easier to have.
Yeah.
Right. Many people not involved in this kind of thing, so they don't understand. They didn't join the organization, but in reality, it's very important.
Yeah.
Why there's an assistant city manager? Why there's assistant director? That's why there's administrative positions in the city. Simply because you have to have a promotion. You have just like a business. You have to market your employment. You have to market your project. Yeah, that's what my meaning is.
Great. The last organization I want to ask you about is the Asian American Resource Center. Obviously, it's been in the makings for many decades, as a vision in people's minds. Were you a part of that, kind of dreaming up this concept?
Yes, I'm one of the founders. Again, the same founders involved all in this thing, and we thought about the network, establish a platform, and to work for the Asian Americans. And we have an employee network to work inside the government. But we we need to have some real project to go along with it. That's the reason we said, let's go for a resource center. And we understand there's already a private center there, Amy Ma, and she did a good job. But we like it to involve more people with the center. That's the reason we want the city to give land to build one. And we want the city to be part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we asked for 15 acres of land to build that center. I'm not the board member anymore. I resigned because I like to be in full retirement stage. And but the American Resource Center was started as early as 95.
And
96, I'm sorry. As early
1996?
as 96.
And what happened in 1996 to spark this?
Well, the first thing is you have to let the city council to pass a resolution to support them.
That's what happened in 1996, the resolution?
That happened in 1998. We start talking about that in 1996.
Okay.
In 1998, we had that ordinance passed.
Okay. So that is obviously a long time ago. Was it the idea after the resolution passed to kind of formulate a plan, to take your time to really think about what you want it to be?
Well, one matter is more people involved in that.
Okay.
For example, like Bill Spellman's wife, Nienda, you know, she was the one who presented the idea in city council to all members of the council, and then more people. Then later on, Shira Liao and Shankar Reddy, they all involved. So one thing is you have more community leaders involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
One is to push the city harder. So we have to talk to city council members, and we had many meetings with them.
And then finally the bond passed.
Right. For the bond pass, that was when Jennifer became city council member.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, she, as an insider, of course, gave significant help.
Mm-hmm.
But initially, it was different people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have 3 stages. One is the founders. You know, we had that idea, talk to city council, you got support from city council members. Then you go to the Asian community. You recruit more community leaders to involve in that. And the third stage is you really have some insider in the city. So that's how it was established.
Okay.
And probably very few people know about the history of this.
Yeah.
Simply because they were not here at the time.
With so many people, different community members involved, was it hard to agree on what the center should do and what it should be like?
That's again, you have a platform, so-called Network of Asian American Organizations, NAAO. So NAAO was the one to build the consensus. And then you have a money funding constraint. So these two. It basically is a project of NAAO, and you also be bound by the funding limitation. So, with this two, you have to go to have a consensus. This is what the initial stage need to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you looking forward to the opening next year?
Oh, of course, I was happy to see that happen. Also, I didn't contribute that much effort, but as one of the founders, I do feel it should be established, and I would have to say, Amy Ma, she did a lot of job before the resource center was start building, and that was the very initial idea. She wanted to have a center, and even she didn't go to city and formulate her own center, but that center did would be one of the basis for the further effort.
So we talked a lot about all these different organizations that you were involved with. Do you feel like the Asian American community has come really far in the time you've been here since 1976?
Well, it's I think Austin going to be to have more and more Asians come in, and going to right now is pretty close. The population is pretty close to blacks, and we had for 6% in city, and blacks have 7% in city. So there are, for many reasons, but the major reason is you have more than 100 restaurants in here. That's a lot. And you have more than 100 convenience stores in here. That's a lot. You cannot destroy that, right? So you can, the economy cannot destroy that. And then it also grows with the high-tech business. Austin always be Silicon Hills. And you have more service, high-tech service, then you have more Indians, Asians, Vietnamese coming into here. So one reason is because of economy. Asians like to get into business, and that business cannot be destroyed by the downturn economy. Number two is you have more relatives of Asians to come in. Like for example, I would say, if I count that the total number of relatives of mine would be about 50 people. So, and if you have another person have another 50 people, so it's going to grow geometrically with the population growth. So that's the second reason. And I guess the third one is the atmosphere of Austin, which is, I would consider Texas still part of South America. It's a pretty the atmosphere has a pretty liberal flavor. No matter whether you are a Democrat or you are a Republican, you don't go to extremes. So you always be moderate. And this environment would attract people to come here. That's very important. And you go to of course there are many things like a high cost of living, a high more crowded traffic would prevent people from coming in, but with the environment, the liberal environment, and more Asian would come in to enjoy.
My last question is about, I guess, your life here in Austin. What are you most proud of having accomplished here in Austin?
Myself?
Yourself.
Most proud of?
Proud of.
I would say I have served the Asian community. I have also served the government and made a significant contribution to the government. That I think with the contribution to the community, with the contribution to the government, is the contribution to the overall American society. The United States gave me tuitions, scholarships, jobs for me to be living comfortably, and I made some contribution to give back. So that makes me proud of.
Right. Is there anything else you would like to add to this interview?
Well, surely you can talk about anything. I would be very open to speak with you.
Okay. Thank you, and that concludes this interview.